The most recent update to Valorant has generated heated controversy in the community, though perhaps not for the reasons that players might think. The update hasn't upset the game's balance, but it has added an oddly large amount of issues. After the chaos of the Valorant patch 4.04 dropped, many agents were immediately entirely disabled. Riot Games is typically quick to patch problems, but gamers are quicker to abuse them and enjoy the game. So let's check the worst Valorant's bugs and glitches. But before we get into it, do me a favor and smash the like, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell button for notifications whenever a new video is published. Valorant patch 4.04. The most recent Valorant 4.04 patch made the game more problematic in some important ways. The following are some of the serious issues that have occurred so far. Despite some fixes, following the patch, the game immediately deactivated both Yaru and Astra. This was brought on by several serious character bugs. However, the time it took to fix them was only a few hours. After the initial round of issues and fixes, Cypher was also taken out of the game, but it's been taking him a little longer to fix. His removal appears to be related to an exploit employing a tripwire. This has the potential to remove everyone from the game, which is a major issue. One of the most entertaining issues was a bug that allowed players to receive a marshal instead of a handgun in the first round. In the beginning, players may sell Astra's stars to earn more credits and pick to choose a marshal rather than a pistol, giving them a simple advantage. Naturally, this threw off the early game's entire balance. Valorant patch 4.04 fixes. These are some of the big issues that Valorant patch 4.04 introduced. However, many of them have already been updated or fixed, preventing gamers from encountering them until the patch is completed. When it comes to fixing these issues, Riot has moved incredibly fast. However, it's a little concerning why quite so many issues were added in a single patch. However, players have been quick to suggest a fix. There are still more bugs that need to be fixed, such as the spike acting strangely when it most certainly shouldn't. The Valorant community has generally done a good job of completing bug reports. They've discovered quite a few huge problems with the game. However, this bug discovery isn't the best solution to these issues. A longer-lasting fix might make it possible to stop so many issues from ever getting live in the first place. Account progress disappears. A new game bug that is causing various client-related troubles has been reported by Brave players. Many users have reported problems with the game lobby, their skin collection, and the agent selection stage as well. When users logged into the Valorant client, they also saw that their player cards had been changed to the default version and were elongated. In the past 2 days, some players have been unable to play Valorant due to this new glitch. Most games have bugs, some of which are entertaining while others are just plain annoying. Similar to that, Riot Games appears to have resolved the client and account-related bugs that appeared over the previous 2 days. A user replied on a Reddit thread about this new Valorant bug, saying, "Yeah, I was worried yesterday that my account had been glitched or something. After a while, everything thankfully returned to normal. Only starter agents are available." Many players observed that they could only use the Valorant starter agents. Therefore, they could only lock Sage, Phoenix, Jet, Sova, or Brimstone in. In the agent selection stage, every other agent that players had acquired over time was locked and grayed out. One Twitter user commented, "The one day that I have no raid and no work, Valorant decides to bug out on me? YLUL only defect agents." Missing gun collection. Players can browse their cosmetic collections for each of the game's guns by selecting the Collections tab at the top of the page after logging into their Valorant accounts. Players can select gun buddies and player cards under the Collections page in addition to choosing a skin for their weapons. Players, however, were startled to see their Collections tab empty due to the new Valorant bug. All the spaces were vacant as customers clicked on Collections, making it impossible for them to see their skin collections. Disabled queues. To resolve a game-breaking flash bug, Valorant competitive queues have been disabled. There are many persistent problems in Valorant that don't necessarily affect gameplay. The developer mentions addressing these exploits in each patch. Trolls are making the most of a similar bug that has been found that stops agents from becoming blinded by altering an in-game setting. Valorant has a dangerously simple-to-replicate flash bug that players have discovered. After noticing, Riot Games disabled queuing until it was gone. A player by the name of SW1ZE has brought attention to the fact that a small adjustment to the HUD settings disables Valorant's flash effect. Before making this discovery, players were fiddling with scoreboard screens to avoid Sky, K/O, Phoenix, and other players' blind spots, but this technique makes it simpler to reproduce a bug that might break the game. There is no need for complicated lineups. Instead, a single setting adjustment can render you blinds impervious. It's too risky due to its reproducibility. When tested, the exploit worked successfully, prompting Riot to react immediately. The problem is still quite huge even though it doesn't affect Omen or Fade. It has been stealthily exploited by players, demonstrating that it is a fatal bug. No official ETA has been provided, but the queues will continue to be disabled for the ensuing few hours. Before Riot Riot puts competitive play back on, players should give themselves at least a day. Jett Icebox Super Dash Ramp Glitch. Jett can super dash from a variety of places on Icebox. The defender's side ramp is the most popular. It uses Jett's tailwind and updraft skills to give Jett amazing speed. The Riot quickly removes new super dashes from the game, but more are continually discovered. In addition to confusing the position of the enemy crosshairs, you will also have complete control over middle and a little portion of B. Not to mention Jett's ultimate skill and his exact aim. Even though the super sprint was sadly eliminated, several players still discovered turnarounds for it. Omen Sage Wallhack Glitch. Sage and Omen in Valorant are the most well-known bug and glitch pairing. Imagine how troublesome they become when combined to pass through walls, as Sage's wall and Omen's ultimate are already problematic separately. However, you can see, shoot, and kill the enemy even though they cannot see you inside the walls. Players can still occasionally notice Sage and Omen wall glitches on Valorant maps, even though most of them have been patched by this point. Cypher Breeze Camera Bug. Breeze had numerous bugs and glitches when it was first published. A Cypher camera placement on the defender's side, where you could practically see the entire map, is one of the more well-known ones. Players were able to intercept pushes, flanks, and lurkers early as a result, providing defenders an unfair edge. Cypher Gun Game Camera Bug. The infamous Cypher camera gun bug comes in next. Cypher's camera was treated as an agent in the early days of Valorant, which allowed you to handle it as one by simply throwing it a rifle. With the rifle, you could fire while the camera was holding it. You could essentially go anywhere on the map and take down the enemies from the safest positions, which was the most overpowered aspect of this glitch. Falling through the map. During the early stages of Valorant, this bug existed. Before the round had begun, players were dispatched below the map. Most notably, it happened on Bind. Players were caught off guard when they hugged the wall during the buy round before racing up to a link. Before the game ultimately opted to delete certain players, those players would wind up plunging down the map for a considerable amount of time. Killjoy Turret Under the Map. This is another Valorant bug and glitch that has to do with being below the map. Instead of a player going underneath, it's the location of Killjoy's turret this time. Along with other problems, Omen was able to teleport past the barrier and Sage built wells and boosts in the wrong places. On Haven, Killjoy was able to position her turret beneath the map in Window C of C Garage. Enemies could still be pointed out and fired upon by the undermap turret. The other team wouldn't know from where they were being tagged. It took a lot of abuse before it was thankfully patched. Patch 1.11. The full Valorant patch 1.11 likely qualifies as a bug. Riot decided to entirely roll it back because it was so awful to avoid ruining the start of the NA First Strike qualifiers. Insane performance problems like stuttering and the very horrifying Omen smoke bug were caused by the patch. Players would pass through an Omen smoke and have a stretched out, glitchy Sage rendering blanket their screen as they did so. It was a little embarrassing that any of this happened. Fortunately, Riot launched the Valorant PBE in 2021 to stop it from occurring again. Omen the Invincible. Players search for new bugs following the release of every new patch. Omen takes home the cash once more thanks to a game-breaking bug on the split map. To determine which agent inflicts the most bugs on Valorant, Omen and Killjoy must compete in an unofficial tournament. While the latter frequently has turret bugs, Omen is known for his smokes and teleports. His shadow walk ability is causing issues once more. It enables him to pass spawn barriers on split at the start of each round with the aid of an ally. He can get past a barrier and approach the opponent while remaining undetected because the barriers also block sight. This enables him to steal important information and catch the opponents off guard as soon as the round begins. Utilizing an ally who needs to be put on the short A crates is the bug. He or she must be able to get stronger. Jett, Raze, Sage. The ally in a good position can make sure to shove Omen through the barrier at the start of the round if Omen attempts to use Shadow Walk to teleport to the crate from the ground. What do you think about the bugs and glitches? Were you one of the players who find it entertaining? Let me know your thoughts in the comments section down below. Before leaving, don't forget to like, subscribe and hit the bell button for notifications on our future content. With that being said, see you in the next one.